Hi, it's Bumble. Welcome back to my channel. I thought I had more movies I was going to talk about, but I guess I don't. I don't know. I had a Swedish one I was going to talk about, and then I remembered, oh yeah, I skipped through most of the movie. This one I'm going to talk about Brian and Charles. I kind of skipped around as well. Um, it's a movie I found, I think, on Peacock, if I remember right. Even just looking at the poster, it looks like it's going to be kind of like Quirky or whatever. That's just, I don't know. I think the font's reminding me of like Wes Anderson. Not that Wes Anderson stuff is quirky. It's got its own like visual style and everything, and this isn't like a Wes Anderson adjacent movie or anything. I think it's just the font for the title. It's like bright pink and really thick and sans serif. It just makes me think of Wes Anderson. Anyway, this Brian and Charles, it's a movie from 2022 about this inventor, and he makes himself a robot friend. It's kind of like, okay, no, it's not thematically like Frankenstein or anything. That's just immediately what I think of, because he builds himself a guy. It's this really big, but it's a robot, not like a person or a corpse, that's like really tall and kind of weird and doesn't really know how to interact with people correctly. Or not that he runs around like scaring people or anything, but just it's just kind of weird to look at. But they end up being friends, and it's like more wholesome, if anything. I'll be honest, I skipped to all the parts in the movie where it was like the inventor. His name's Brian. I think the robot's the one. Yeah, the robot's the one named Charles. Just because that's the only reason I was kind of watching the movie, because he builds a robot, and the robot has like an interesting design where its body is like an old washing machine, and he's really tall. I think there's just a person. It's like it has to be a person's legs under there, because there's like pants and shoes. You don't see like feet or anything. So it's like a washing machine body with like a shirt stretched over it and a little jacket and a bow tie. And then there's like a mannequin head on top or something. I wasn't completely sure, but it has hair. It's designed to look like an old person with glasses. And the mouth and stuff moves and everything. And I don't remember if it blinks. But the eyes are kind of cool, where one eye is like a mannequin eye, and then the other one is like the robot eye. I guess you don't forget that it's a robot, and it's like really bright blue or something. It kind of just makes him look like a little professor or whatever. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at the eye more closely. It does look like an eye. It just looks like a blue camera lens. But then I can't take it seriously because the eye glows blue, and the rest of the face, and it's like a really light blue too, is just the mannequin head. And I just keep thinking about the stupid Undertale thing with Sans with the blue eye, and then I just could not take it seriously the rest of the movie. But the robot's cool. The inventor, he's okay. He's very shy. He just lives in this small town in... Oh, it's in Wales. Okay, yeah, he's Welsh. He lives in Wales in this like really small town. He doesn't really have any like friends or anything, and the inventor, he's just happy with his life and where he lives and whatever. But the robot wants to travel and explore and learn things. I think it ends up learning English from like a dictionary, and has an obsession with cabbages for some reason. I don't remember if that was something that I skipped or whatever. But yeah, the robot really likes cabbages. And he's funny too. Like he talks, in a robotic way. The robot sounds like a robot. I know that's like duh, but no, he's sounds like one of those like AI voice assistants or something. Not like Siri, but like male Siri, if that makes sense. But his dialogue's funny. Like, let me think of some parts that were funny. I'm trying to think of like specific things. I can't remember this movie very well, but I still enjoyed it. There's a part where someone comes to the door and the doorbell rings and Brian is trying to tell Charles to like shut up and not make a peep. I think that's what it was. And Charles is just messing around and is making like a bunch of noises and mimicking the doorbell and keeps going like bing bong, ding dong, or whatever. And it's just funny, like the line delivery, because it's like a completely robotic voice, but it's saying all these like goofy things, and like the way Charles talks is very human in the sense of like comedic timing and the way questions are asked or whatever. It like flows in a very natural way, if that makes sense. Or the part where Charles first meets like another human, he gets into an argument. He's kind of a little bratty, if I'm honest. Where Brian's gonna go somewhere and Charles wants to go too, and they have this little teeny car. I thought that Charles was gonna fit, but I don't think that was the issue, where Brian's like, oh, you need to sit in the back, and is like always talking to him like a child for some reason. He's like, go sit in the back or whatever, I guess like the way you'd order around a dog, and Charles is like front or whatever, and it's just insistent. But it comes off as funny because it's not in the way of like an annoying misbehaving child. It just I don't know. And he ends up getting to sit, it like cuts to him sitting in the front, and he gets left alone in the car, and there's this woman named Hazel that shows up, and Charles is trying to talk to her, and it's like, oh, hi, I'm Charles, and Hazel's just like, what are you, you know? Like, I thought she'd be more freaked out. I mean, I would probably be a little weirded out if, like, I met a robot in real life or something, but if the robot, I mean, he doesn't look like a robot or anything, it's just, like, a mannequin head on a square, but the robot is so tall, and the body, is so square, because it's a washing machine, that it's just weird to look at. It's like looking at an alien dressed as a human. I'm kind of slow with my words right now because I'm trying to scroll through Google to find a picture of the robot standing up. Yeah, it's just weird. Like, the washing machine body is so square that it doesn't even come off as like, oh, these are just really broad shoulders or whatever. But like, you could be tricked looking at him of like, that's just a really tall old man or something. I don't know. It's interesting. Like, it doesn't feel fearful looking at him, and it doesn't trigger like the uncanny valley despite having a mannequin head. But he ends up talking to Hazel and is trying to invite her to go to wherever they're going, to like a beach or something. And she's kind of, I felt bad for her because she's kind of uncomfortable. And then Brian shows up and is like, oh, you don't have to come with us. And Charles is like, come. And I don't know if Hazel's thinking like, oh, this robot's gonna like kill me or something if I don't go, or whatever. Just the whole situation's weird. But she ends up becoming friends with both of them. And I think her and Brian remain friends. And Charles has this whole thing where he wants to go to Honolulu because he sees it on TV and wants to travel around and do things, which I guess that's fair. If you were like a robot that was stuck in a small town, you'd want to probably go learn a bunch of things. And Brian it's annoying how he treats Charles like a child all the time, like the way he orders him around and stuff, and kind of dismisses his dream of wanting to travel the world. And then there's also a car chase in this movie too, which I thought was kind of fun. It's like a car chase at night. I don't remember who's chasing them, but they end up, it's like Brian, Hazel, and Charles is in the back or something, and they're chucking cabbages at these people that are chasing them and whatever. And then, oh, cool, the soundtrack is on Spotify. I'm gonna have to click through that. The Spotify art is kind of weird because Charles has like a big paper skirt covering his legs or something. I feel bad making this review because I skipped through like a good chunk of the movie because I just wanted to see the robot interactions. And now that I'm talking about it, I'm realizing how much I liked the movie, and I'm like, damn, probably should have sat through the whole thing. But I did also watch this really late at night, so yeah. But then by the end of the movie, Brian trusts him more and buys him a ticket. It's like a all around the world ticket, with the first stop being in Honolulu, which that feels like it's probably more far away than other places, but sure. And then there's a goodbye scene where Brian says bye. Brian and Hazel go to see Charles off at the train station. Whenever I see that type of thing in movies of like saying goodbye to someone on a train, it always makes me think of like old-timey movies. I don't know, maybe it's just because I don't have trains near me. And it's kind of a little sad, like Charles says that he'll miss Brian, and they end up hugging, or as good at hugging as you can get is hugging someone whose body's a washing machine. And then Charles leaves, and he always kind of like sticks his head out of windows and stuff, and just gets excited about things. And on one hand, I'm glad the robot gets to achieve his dreams, and that was really nice of Brian to do that. And Brian doesn't go on the trip, he stays behind because he's happy where he is and whatever. And that's cool that he gave Charles his like freedom or whatever. Not that Charles couldn't have left the entire time, but like Brian orders him around a lot and whatever. I thought that was a nice ending, but I was thinking of a couple of things. I thought of like, you bought a world like traveling ticket and you gave it to a robot. I'm glad the robot's going to appreciate it, but like, why wouldn't you want to go? Like, I get being happy and comfortable at home, but like if you bought a round the world ticket, which I'm assuming is expensive, why wouldn't you want to go and do that or whatever? It'd probably be awesome. I think Brian should have gone with him. Like, Charles even asks him like, oh, aren't you coming? And Brian's like, no, this is your adventure. I get the meaning and it's sweet, but I'm just like, it's not like he paid just for the ticket to Honolulu. It's like a ticket to go everywhere. And the other thing I was thinking is like, how the hell is Charles going to get through TSA? Because his body, I mean, besides probably having some kind of robotic brain and whatever to make him like function, his body is literally a washing machine. You are metal, sir. Like, how are you gonna get through? I'm assuming you'd have he starts the journey off on a train, but you're gonna have to go on a plane at some point. I think I saw a Letterboxd review about that too, because I like to check Letterboxd afterwards, where someone was like, how is he gonna travel around or whatever? He's a robot. And it's not like he already knows a lot about the world anyway. He's just lived in this one place. It raises some questions, but it's supposed to be sweet. I mean, maybe he does get stopped by TSA and they just let him through. I mean, what are you gonna do to like a super tall robot that can probably like body slam you or whatever? But it's like a cute little movie. Cute in the sense of like kind of quirky, kind of fun. Quirky's probably not the right word, but that's just what's popping into my head right now. I don't usually describe movies as cute. I feel like it's kind of a weird way to describe movies. I don't know. Maybe because I have an aunt that she describes movies as cute a lot, and I'm like, what? But I don't know. It's cute in the sense of like, it's a fun little story. It's pretty wholesome. It has a goober robot main character and stuff. I think it's like a cool design of even though he's covered in clothes, he very much looks like yeah, he's like handmade and stuff. His body is a washing machine. His head is like a weird mannequin. I saw pictures of the mannequin when I was on Google. It looked a little creepy, but like in the movie where he has the glasses and the robot eye, it's kind of cool. It makes me wonder, and I skipped through a lot of the beginning of the movie, so that's on me, what he looked like without the mannequin head. Would he look like one of those like FNAF ectoskeletons or something? I don't know, but that's pretty much my thoughts on it, or at least on the parts that I liked anyway. I thought it was good. It was not even something I searched for either. It like popped up while I was scrolling Peacock, and I was instantly just like, whoa, robot movie, I gotta check it out. This also, I think because it also visually reminded me of like Lars and the Real Girl, which I watched a couple weeks ago. or like a couple months ago or something. I don't remember if I did a review of that one, but that's another one I really like. It kind of reminds me of this, except instead of being a non-sentient mannequin and a love story, it's a sassy washing machine robot that wants to go to Hawaii. Alright, that's pretty much all my thoughts on it. Yeah, so see you next time. Bye bye.